I'm going to go ahead and start the recording. Welcome to the official virtual launch of the Voice of Hope book. This book is so amazing. It has been created by amazing co-authors who are, some of you are all here today, so we'll be able to hear from them. I can't wait. My name is Dr. Heather Tucker. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Another Level Living and the coordinator of this project. And I gathered these courageous authors who are also coaches and business builders to be able to talk about this one thing for caregiving. Now, stay tuned, because at the end of this, we have a really great free gift for all of you who are in attendance. So just be on the lookout for that. This book is really about helping inspire as well as empower and encourage other caregivers to continue on the journey. Don't know about you, but sometimes life happens unexpectedly, and we're caught up in a situation where we're caring for someone else, for a loved one. And that can create overwhelm, stressed out, being fatigued, not necessarily knowing which way to go, especially when there's so many other things going on in life. And we recognize this, and then we're giving, in our book, the tools to be able to battle the ups and downs and highs and lows of caregiving. So that's what it's all about. It's a book that is definitely needed for really anyone who gets caught up in that situation. Even moms are caregivers. So we have all of these options. And I wanted to know, first of all, why. So you got to know a little bit about why I did the book. My husband is a Purple Heart Marine Corps veteran. He did 2 tours in Iraq and Afghanistan, has PTSD. And I had no idea what this caregiver role was, or the fact that I was becoming a caregiver, or what in the world it was like when I first started. And then it wasn't until later that I realized that I needed some support, and that there is a blessing in this message, this reason for caregiving. So that was kind of my motivation for getting these amazing people together, these awesome co-authors. And now I kind of want to know, what about you? What is it that, for each of you, tell us a little bit about yourself, and why, what brings you to this project? Why did you decide to be part of this book? So we'll start, first of all, with Tanya. Tanya, go ahead and share with us.
Hi, everyone. As Dr. Heather said, I'm Tanya Arrington. I actually live in Shelby, North Carolina, and I'm the Career Development Coordinator at our early college high school at Cleveland Community College. What brings me here today, my husband and I actually participated in a class that Dr. Heather offered for life coaches. And in that process, very different from a lot of other sessions and workshops go to, people go and get a certification, just go through the process and have gained that knowledge. But with the life coaching program, Dr. Heather actually had it structured. There's no way that we can actually go to help others if we haven't gone through a healing process ourselves. And so in that process of actually really identifying challenges that we were having personally, Dr. Heather would listen to our story, and our story had a lot to do with the caregiving role that we were in. And she approached us at the end of the class and asked if we'd be interested in being part of this book collaboration, which was very powerful in many respects. And the one thing that stood out to me is that we were constantly looking at the glass being half empty. And just with her approaching us, it showed us a different perspective of how to look at the season that we're in. So that's how we became a part of the Voice of Hope book. There are several other authors that are here with us today that actually participated in that same workshop with Dr. Heather. And so I'm glad we're all here today to share our stories, to help make better situations and show us all how to look from a different perspective to see that glass half full.
I love it. I love it, Tanya. Thanks so much for sharing that. It is about how you look at the glass, whether it's half empty or half full. And we can look at it so depleted. Like, or if it's half empty, are we empty? But as caregivers, as we fill ourselves up, we can be able to help better fill those that we care of. So thanks so much for sharing your story. All right, let's go to the second author, Nadine Owens. I'm going to unmute you and tell us a little bit about yourself and what brought you to this collaboration.
Oh, hello, everyone. My name is Nadine Owens. I'm a mom, a sister, a wife, a friend, a coach, a business owner, a woman of God, and I'm also a caregiver to my 3 adult sons who have, 2 of them have autism, the other one have PTSD and with severe anxiety. I also have a resource center for adults with different abilities as well as their caregivers. And I also have a home care agency, and I'm so excited about that. So therefore, I will be able to go, me, myself, as well as my staff will go in and offer them independence, structure, and love. That's what I stands for. And what brought me to this collaboration was I've been knowing Dr. Heather for a while, and we was talking one day, I believe we was having lunch, and I expressed to her that I wanted to do a book. And she was like, well, maybe we can, come together and do a collaboration book, which I thought was a phenomenal idea because I feel like if we come together, getting our stories out, people can hear it, read it, see it from everybody's perspective. And therefore, because we touch in every area. I'm taking care of my adult sons. Some are taking care of children, which I have taken care of them since birth. I have been a caregiver. Therefore, people taking care of their, like Heather stated, her spouse, and other people, their parent or maybe a friend. But I'm just so excited about this book and what it stands for and the message that we are giving people, and that's hope.
I love it. I love it. Thanks so much, Nadine, for sharing with us. That it is about that hope and having that to be able to hold on to in the midst of our caregiving. And so just to also let everybody know, we're going to be together. The co-authors are also going to be together live, face-to-face. So save the date of June 22nd. We're going to have our physical launch in Virginia, Norfolk, Virginia. More to come on that. But to be able to meet us in person and be able to connect with our stories, and that's exactly what it's about, is having this support network, and that's what we are to other caregivers. And so thank you so much, Nadine, for sharing. Right, let's see who's up next. I'm going to do Lori Zollinger. Go ahead and tell us about yourself and tell us what brought you to this collaboration. Oh, first of all, Nadine and Tanya, thank you so much for your service of being an amazing caregiver for your loved one. All right, take it away, Lori.
Hi, I'm Lori Soldinger. I am from Orlando, Florida, and I am a certified professional life coach. I specialize in divorce recovery coaching. I'm certified in that, and I'm also working with women in transition. So the reason why this project was so important to me was because I've always thought of caregiving as a way of giving yourself to other people. And I had to learn the hard way through the loss of my father that there's a huge component that's missing in the act of caregiving. You're taking care of others and you're forgetting one important person that you're supposed to be giving care to. So it was extremely important to me that I be able to pass on what I learned through my own personal lessons. I work with women in transition, and typically I'm working with this sandwich generation, which is women who are caring for their children, sometimes even adult grown children who are out of the house at the same time that they're caring for their parents and or sometimes even grandparents. So you're in this place where you feel like you're putting all of your energy and attention into everyone else, your spouse, your partner, your children, your parents, grandparents, and other family members. And that component of self-care is more important than anything. I personally suffered with years and years of anxiety disorder and panic disorder. And I realized that I was not putting on my own oxygen mask before I was taking care of everybody else, like they tell you on the airplane. So I felt like this was such an awesome opportunity, number one, to be able to honor my father and the beautiful relationship that we had and what blessings came out of that caregiving relationship while I had him with me. And also just to really be able to remind everyone out there, my clients, anybody who reads a book, that self-care is the most important part of caregiving so that you are the best self that you can be while you're taking care of others. And it's just been a pleasure. I'm honored to be a part of this project and so excited about this book launch. So thank you so much for having me.
Thanks so much, Laura. You rock. You know, I appreciate that you've given us that tip about self-care because it's so true. We all know it. And sometimes it's really hard to do it though, right? Am I alone in this? Is it anybody else who we know to do self-care and sometimes it can be so overwhelming to not even get to you because you're so busy giving to everyone else. Well, in this book, we give you tangible, amazing pieces and tips on how to be able to practice that self-care. Every single one of these authors, I just want to let everyone know who's watching, every single one of the authors in this book help me continue on the journey of caring for even my loved one. Because there's times when you just want to give up, times where you just want to throw in the towel and be like, I need to be able to figure me out. And the stories and the messages and the things that they share inspired me to continue. And I cannot wait to see how it can be able to inspire all of you who are watching. So make sure that you connect with these amazing authors and you get your copy of the Voice of Hope book on reserve. An autographed copy, they'll send it right to you. Awesome. Thank you, Lori, for your service. All right, next up, we're going to have, we'll do JP. JP, are you there? Jeff Peterson. Yes. Okay, I'm gonna unmute you. Hold on one second. Unmute you. All right, can you hear me, Jeff?
Yep, I'm here.
Awesome, perfect. Everyone meet Jeff Peterson. He's an amazing author in this book, and I just want him to take the time to introduce yourself. Tell us about yourself and why you, what brought you to, why did you decide to be a part of this book? What brought you to it?
So yeah, I'm Jeff Peterson. I'm from Virginia Beach, Virginia. And first off, I just wanted to thank Dr. Heather for putting this together. You know, we're all in this room caregivers, and it's probably one of the hardest jobs that you'll ever do in your life. Also, one of the most rewarding jobs. And I think this book is just an amazing resource for the truly probably millions of others who are caregiving for someone. I was a caregiver for my wife, Sherry, for 10 years. She had chronic Lyme disease and a bunch of co-infections, autoimmune disease. Unfortunately, she lost her battle just short of 2 months ago on February 28th. It's even more important for me to be part of this. I founded a company called One Love Coaching and Consulting, which is life coaching and a caregiver consulting program. And really the biggest reason is I was with Tanya and Tim at the life coach training of Dr. Heather, and she also approached me after hearing my story about collaborating on this book. And obviously I jumped at the chance. I think that for me, the reason I joined the project is, again, for me, it was 10 years and I made a ton of mistakes and, certain things I wish I would have done differently. Again, caregiving can be so frustrating and overwhelming to people. And so if there was just a small thing that I could do to help people understand that they're not alone and that their feelings and frustrations are just human and natural. And if I can help a couple people navigate through that journey, maybe a little more efficiently than I did, that's why I joined the project. And I'm so thankful you invited me, Dr. Heather.
Oh, Jeff, JP, it is my pleasure. Thank you so much for being part of this book and part of this collaboration and bringing that beautiful, beautiful story of your beloved wife. And that I'm reflecting on even the interview that we had done to develop your book chapter and how your presence, your peace, your love was there for the one that you're caring for so deeply. That and we do the best that we can. We're trying to do the best that we can with the resources that we have available. And when you're first starting, even in the beginning or even moving forward into that, it can be you're just not sure what to do. You can be at your wit's end. It's like you can be, I've given it all I got. What more do I have to give? The energy from just being able to be of service to her for so long. So thank you for your service. And you know what? This is one of the things also that comes up with caregiving is that we learn to be in the present moment each day, because we never know how much time we have left with our loved ones, especially when we're dealing with these battles of different diseases that could just take us under. So thank you so much for your service, and we're just so honored to have you. Just also a certified caregiver coach too, right, as well?
Yes.
Yep. Perfect. So you have the support here that you need at your service. If there's any struggles, any battles, any of us can be able to get you to where you want to go and still have peace with that journey, whether it's regardless of what stage, the beginning, the middle, the end. It still has a connection to your heart and soul and your purpose. So thank you all for living your purpose. Wonderful, wonderful. All right. So next one is going to be Pastor Doris. Doris, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself and what brought you to this collaboration. Oh, hold on. I got to unmute you. Wait. Sorry. Okay. All right. There you go.
Good afternoon. Hello, everyone.
Good afternoon.
My name is Pastor Doris Smith, and I am, of course, we do quite a few things. I'm from beautiful Miami, Florida. I'm so grateful to be a part of such an amazing group of authors, of people that are doing such an amazing work. Special thank you to you, Dr. Heather. Amazing, amazing. And I'm so grateful for all that the Lord has done in connecting me with you and this amazing group of authors. I am the CEO and founder of Life in the Abundance, where we encourage and inspire people to not only love life, but to live life and to forgive in life and to embrace the challenges of life that are many as opportunities for greatness. I care for my husband of 35 years who has dealt with multiple issues, COPD, CHF. He had went into renal failure the end of December 17th as we were preparing to travel. In spite of all of that, I learned as I went. I never had a handbook that told me how to take care of someone or how to care for them, but I found out that the love we have for those that are around us, our family, we move forward and do what we have to do. And many times in doing that, we forget about ourselves. We kind of put ourselves on hold. We put our desires on hold because it's a natural thing to do because of the love we have for our children, for our husbands. I have not only cared for my husband, I began caregiving from the birth of my baby daughter up through my parents, who both deceased 2012, one in February and the other in June. I am so grateful to be a part of this. I met Dr. Heather in Orlando, Florida, at a WPN event, and she shared with me about this great opportunity, the Voices of Hope book. And I am just so glad that I took that opportunity to be a part, to share with people, to let them know. My desire is to share mainly with husbands and wives. And this is why I wrote so real. This is why I wrote so true and so authentic, because I want them to know and understand that this is not just when you look good, when you are 36, 24, 36, or when you got your nice health and you're strong and you got your muscles and your biceps and your triceps. But are you going to be there with me, baby, when there's no biceps, when there's no triceps? Are you going to be there with me, baby, when you may have to put a pamper on me? Are you still going to love me? You got a pamper kind of love. Do you have a wheelchair kind of love? Do you have a walker kind of love? Do you have a love that when I can't hear no more, when I can't see no more? Good God Almighty, I feel the preacher. But do you have that kind of love? So we have got to be in our truth, to let people know. Was this easy? No. Because I had to wake up and realize, hey, you have desires, you have hopes, and you have dreams. And God wants you to fulfill those hopes, and He wants you to fulfill those dreams. He has placed you in this world with a purpose, and that is to be fulfilled. So I am great that you, Dr. Heather, has opened that door to allow me to come in and to be a voice among these other beautiful voices to the world, to encourage and inspire them to press, even in caring and loving, to press. I'm so grateful to be a part of the project. And what drew me here is the fact that I really wanted to tell my truth, that in hopes it would be a help to somebody else. Don't walk away, stand. Don't leave them. I didn't only, as I close, I didn't only nurse my husband back to health. I loved him back to health, and I'll continue to do that. But in the midst of it, I learned how to love myself. I learned how to encourage myself. I learned how to have life harmony, and I learned how to do the things that God has destined me to do, and I am so grateful. Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Amen. 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 I love it. I love you. And oh my gosh, my pleasure. Totally. Listen, this, I want people to know that this was not, what's the word? This is already ordained. You know, we have 12 authors. 12, and you, everyone who's listening, you've only seen just a little fraction of what the power of this book is. And thank you for being that perfect example, Pastor Smith, right now. So, and the thing is, it's one thing to care for elderly parents. We have some that are caring for elderly parents. That's expected, right? It's another thing to care for our children. We have an amazing author here ready to come up right now, also caring for her children as well. But what's different is when you are caring for your spouse, it's a whole nother game. It's a whole nother level, because you look at it like a partnership, but it's not really a partnership. It's a shift. It's like a new type of partnership, a new type of working together, where you love each other back to their health if you can. So thank you so much for sharing, and I'm so looking forward to everyone being able to listen to and read your story as well. So for those of you who are just joining us, make sure that you connect with these fabulous authors. As authors, I'm going to have you go ahead and put in your business page, as well as your the link to where they could purchase the book from you on the Facebook Live if you want to, or that would be awesome. So all their information will be there for you to connect to whoever's story. We can do it now, or we can do it after we finish. All right. So make sure that you put your place for them to order your copy of the book, as well as your business page, so therefore they can see about your amazing business that you're building in the midst of caring for your loved ones. So thank you. All right, we're gonna go to Mitzi. Mitzi, I'm gonna unmute you. Thank you so much, Pastor Doris, for your service and your sacrifice. Yes. Okay, Mitzi, are you ready? Hi, Mitzi. Everyone say hi, Mitzi.
Hi.
Okay, Mitzi, introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself and what brought you to this book collaboration.
Hi, well, my name is Mitzi Pierce, and I am from Johnson City, Tennessee. And I, like several of you, met Dr. Heather at in Raleigh, North Carolina for life coaching certification. So I've just recently started stepping out into that. I just got certified back in December, so pretty new for me being in this realm of things. Something that's been on my heart for a long time to do. But my situation, just in that life coaching class and that course, just talking with Dr. Heather, sharing my story, and she invited me to be a part of this collaboration. And man, it was such a heartbeat for me because I've been a stay-at-home mom for almost 12 years now. So a caregiver naturally, but I haven't been a caregiver for someone with medical needs until about 4.5 years ago. So my oldest son had some things along the way that always made us question some issues. And when he was about 5, we found out he was legally blind. And from there on, we started having little issues. I did some homeschooling with him and thought he might be having some dyslexia and it might be vision related. That led us to doing an MRI, which then later sent us into finding out that he had a neurodegenerative brain disorder that's regressive in nature. He entered 5th grade this year. For the first time, he moved into a special needs classroom because he's had a lot of educational regression. He is just now reading on a 1st grade level. He was doing fine and reading to his little brother, and now it's kind of flipped, and now his little brother's reading to him. And so there's a lot of dynamics there for us, and this was a heartbeat of mine to want to be on this project because as Heather and I talked, that there are times that caregiving is, people assume it's going to be when your parents are elderly. They don't expect that they'll be caregiving a spouse. They don't expect that they'll be caregiving children, let alone children that, like Nadine's situation, that they grow up and they're adult children, and that's very likely going to be my situation. When my son was first diagnosed, the life expectancy was short, and he has exceeded that by 2+ years, and so we're very excited about that. This project has just been phenomenal. I'm so excited just to be a part of it because for me, it's wanting to share with others what I didn't have a playbook for, really. There was no blueprint that led me on how do I, excuse me, still be the best mom I can be while my heart is breaking, because my heart was breaking. Every day I saw this regression in my children. How can I encourage others? And so for me, for my coaching, my heartbeat and my focus is on families with special needs or medical needs children. Because going into that process, my heart's desire is to be that bridge and that advocate between the special needs families and the educators, because it is desperately needed. Educators go into a situation where they're there to just give you the raw facts, and they've got 15 people around the table that's involved in the education of your special needs child, and the parent is walking in. So it's almost like you're walking in and everyone's there to tell you what your child can't do and what they can't provide. The parent comes in trying to tell them what your child can do and what your child needs. And so that bridge between the two is, it's a wide chasm. And so my heartbeat is to make that transition easier and to also just help parents who find themselves in a situation with young children that are moving into a medical needs lifestyle or a special needs lifestyle, how they can handle it. It's very tricky. It's tricky waters, learning what an IEP is, which is an individual education plan. There's so many other things involved in that. But I just want to help build that bridge with people. And just there's so many parents that are really struggling. And I think for moms in general, it is often easier for us to wrap our minds, I'm so sorry, to wrap our minds around walking alongside our children because we're naturally nurturers. I think the people group that get missed are the men, the fathers. fathers are performers. They are providers. So if they have children that are unable to do that, it's a whole different ballgame for them to try to wrap their minds around that. And I think they often get lost in that shuffle. So I'd like to be able to just coach and help those people learn how to like marry that information with their hearts and their minds, because I think sometimes you might know it in your head, but it's really hard to get it to your heart. So that's why this project was just really important to me, to be able to be that voice for so many people that don't have that guideline or that blueprint to follow. It's very tricky. So thanks, Dr. Heather, for inviting me to be a part of this.
Mitzi, you are awesome. Thank you so much. I mean, my pleasure, absolutely, because your story is so powerful. The thing about being a mom, so I'm now I have a 1-month-old, and I was just like, what in the world is happening? You have this heightened sense to be able to want the best for your child, and then sometimes it's like you want to be able to give them more, and you want them to be able to be the best that they can be, especially when you have adversity where they're telling you it's one way and you're like, nope, I got it another way, and you're doing it. I'm so proud of you. And then to be able to be that inspiration for others. So everyone who is joining us, think about everyone who is on this call, all of these panelists, these amazing coaches, they have that desire and that passion to be able to help other people. They have gone through, one of the things that I had just listened to T.D. Jakes, and he was talking about how the bigger your calling, the more stuff that you go through. These authors have been created to be able to empower and inspire and change and shift the lives of so many. For those of you who don't know what coaching is about, connect with them or even figure it out. We're actually going to be having a couple of coaching classes coming up as well, because literally that's the best form of communication. It teaches you to become more aware of the people that you're caring for, and there lies the beauty in that life harmony, that emotional intelligence, that sense of awareness of self, and so therefore they can be able to better connect to those people that they are serving. So Mitzi, thank you so much for your service. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you have it. You have this little sample of the power of what this book can be able to provide people. And the thing is, even if you're not in a caregiving situation, you know someone who's a caregiver, get one for them. A lot of times caregivers don't even really know what resource to be able to reach out to. Now they have many, and now they have so much more support. And also, I promise you all a free gift. So I have a free audio that I'm putting into the Facebook Live. It's on business, life, and caregiving made easy. So why do I even talk about business, life, and caregiving? Well, that's what we're doing. A lot of times it's difficult for a caregiver to hold down a full-time job and at least be there, and also be there for the one that they're caring for. I wish I could have known that before I tried to manage a full-time job, a part-time job, and all these other jobs while I'm trying to take care of my loved one. But the glory of entrepreneurship, that hope that you can be able to financially fully provide, as well as spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically, where you can also be aware and be there with your loved ones and live that life that you're supposed to have been called to live. That is the best gift on earth. And that's what we're doing. We're living it. We're taking it one step at a time, and we're on that journey. There was a thing that I had put on Facebook recently where it talked about, we're not crushed, we're just pressed. When you're a caregiver, there's this pressing. It's easy to be able to lose yourself. And as I was talking with Pastor Doris at one point, we were having a conversation, and she said, you know what, as long as you find yourself, it's okay to lose yourself. And that's exactly it. With caregiving, you can be on that losing yourself, and we're here to teach you how to say, you know what, it's okay, you can be found. So with that being said, we're going to get ready to wrap this up. I just wanted to say one more time, for those of you who want to meet us face to face, make sure that you save the date, June 22nd. We're going to be having our physical launch. And on that same day, I'm going to be doing an event. I think it's going to be called Self-Care Summit. Self-Care Summit, like a one-day summit on about how to be able to actually do that self-care. And so that'll be part of the day too. So join us that weekend and let's have a good time as we are band together and support one another. Take advantage of your free gift. Co-authors, make sure that you put your information in that Facebook Live, and then so therefore people can see that information. And I believe that is it. Let me unmute everyone. Any questions, any last minute things, authors? I'm unmuting everyone as we speak right now. You know, y'all are thinking me, I'm thinking you, because you know what? You saved my marriage. You saved my family. And y'all don't even know it. Seriously. Before every single interview, I'm like, okay, this interview has to have something for me. Because right now I'm at my wit's end. What a lot of people don't know is that PTSD, the one that I'm caring for my husband with, is a battle of the mind. And the mind can play tricks on us. Mm-hmm. So, and it's not just the fear. It's fear, it's stress, it's all in one. And you're like, what's happening? But thanks to these authors, they have supported me. And it is my pleasure to be able to support them as they go and they take over the world, and because each of them are destined for greatness. So ladies and gentlemen, anything that you want to share or add, this is the time. And
I'll share. I just wanted to piggyback on a couple things that were said is, again, I think that our job is overwhelming. It's really frustrating sometimes, but I'd encourage everybody to enjoy every single day and the blessings that truly come with the relationships that you have with your caregiver. And then, I'll also piggyback, and I think what Lori said is, self-care is so important. And I think for the longest time, I didn't seek out any help. And then I didn't even accept help from people who tried to help me. And, I came across a quote that says, we can do anything, but we can't do everything. So it's really important that you are your best self. And when people are willing to help you, seek out that help and don't try to do everything by yourself so that you can be the best caregiver you possibly can.
Love it, Jeff. Thank you. Thank you. That was awesome. Thank you so much. Who else?
I wanted to just say that in order for us to be a good caregiver, we must first, as others have already said, take good care of ourselves. It's a bad place to be when the caregiver needs a caregiver. It's okay to be lost. We will be frustrated. We're human. We're going to go through all of those things. It's okay. At times you're going to feel lost. At times you'll probably be lost. But it's okay. Being lost is a learning process. But the beauty of being lost is the accomplishment of being found.
I love it. I love it. Thank you. Thank you. See, these are golden nuggets, people. I'm telling you, just fractions of what's in this book. Anyone else?
No, I think that was awesome, especially what Jeff was saying, because we do attempt to think that we have to do it by ourselves. But just looking at the power of this team, I was making notes personally. Like you say, every time we talk with each other, every time you hear from other individuals that are having a similar experience that you are, then those are things that you can take away that makes your day better. So I thank you. I'm sitting here, Lori from Orlando, Jeff from Virginia Beach, Doris from Miami, Mitzi, and the list goes on. Thank you for what you just shared today, because if we really look at our lives, we're affected in all of those areas, and people don't realize that they are caregivers. Just like you said, a parent is a caregiver, and we always look for it to be an extreme situation. But in everyday situation, we have to take the time for ourselves to be restored. We just had a situation here recently where I was able to, because of the knowledge I've gained, I can see things more clearly. And my mother, who passed in 2017, the best friend just recently passed, and she was a caregiver for her husband. And notice what I said, she passed, but her husband is still living and still needing the same care. So it's very powerful to understand that there are resources that are out there. Planning is key. You have to be intentional with your movement. Even in the love that you have to pause and be intentional and set aside time for yourself to be restored, be rejuvenated, so that you can make a difference.
All right, we'll take one more. Are we good? Oh, that was awesome though, Tanya. Everybody, you just rock. See, this is the first time, for those of you who joined, this is the first time we've gotten together like this, because we're busy people. So, yeah. Well, I just want to say, huh?
I said I'm at work now.
See?
And I have time with me.
We learned.
I have my son with me, and I'm just so excited about this book. I'm so excited about panelists and what God is doing. You talking to somebody who have survived 2 mental breakdowns. My prayer was, God, allow me to keep my boys at home. It wasn't easy, and therefore I went through a lot. But nevertheless, I'm still here, moving on, telling my testimony. So I just want to tell everybody it is possible. There is hope. So I'm telling you all, get the book. It's some great nuggets in there. The stories are phenomenal. And I know that it's going to be a part 2 to this.
Yeah.
There's going to be a part 2 to this. Okay. And yeah, I'm just so full what the Lord is doing. And I just want to let you all know, which we all have, discussed, about putting yourself first. Something I didn't do. And the resources, it's been over, 25, 26 years ago. I didn't have no resources. I didn't connect with anybody, so I did everything on my own in the natural, but not in the spiritual world, because God really had his hands on me. And I didn't go to a hospital or what, so I recovered, and twice, and I'm still moving and keep going. So I just want to share my story to help somebody out and let them know, the importance of putting yourself first, loving yourself, and being good to yourself. And don't be ashamed and don't feel guilty of saying no. Sometimes we got to say no in order to move on, because I was a yes person, because of my heart, because I wanted to, be that good person. But see, that caused me to have a breakdown on top of caring for my kids. So, I don't have a problem with saying no, but I say it in a humbly, lovingly way. And I keep moving. So bless you all. And I can't wait to see you all June 22nd, right?
June 22nd it is. I'm getting all the information together, the tickets, so it's going to be great. We're going to have a good old time.
I know it is. I know it is. I'm prepared now.
All right.
I'm prepared now.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you all so much for your time today. You rock. I'm going to go ahead and end the live broadcast, and if I can, yes, I'll end the live broadcast, and then co-authors, y'all just hang on for one moment. All right, this has been everyone. Thank you guys for joining us. We will see you soon. All right, stop the live stream.